Hello, YouTube. Welcome back to the Scrabble Players Championship. This is round 6, and I'm faced against Craig Rowland, fellow Canadian. Long time player, Scrabble fanatic, and he's actually featured on my Twitch page. I think it's like the background picture. It's some picture on my Twitch page. Um, of a game between me and him at the Canadian National Scrabble Championship. Anyways, Craig was first in this round 6 game, and he opened with Aeon, which is a very interesting positioning. Uh, just looks wrong. I don't actually know if it is wrong. Like there are lots of positions, and they all like sort of open spots. I think probably this position seems to be optimal to me, but he played it here. And that creates a funny p hook. So if this was my rack, I'd have like pupae for 34. This was not my rack. This was my rack, and I had two choices, Hun or Hun, and immediately I was wanting to play this one because I have the D and the I for Hod and Uni, and this is a better bingo lane for a 7-letter word on the six row. But I ended up switching, as I often do, my thinking, just maybe overthinking, and I decided to play underneath to make it a lot harder for Craig to immediately underlap. He would need like an O to and a specific letter to go under NU, which like not many letters go there. The G, the B, the T, S, and versus UN that has a lot more hooks. So that was my thinking, but I definitely realized that it would sort of reduce my own bingo chances next turn. So if we want a short sim here, see my next turn after 9G Hun, my bingo chances are slightly lower at the moment. I think that'll hold throughout the simulation, but opponent next turn, the 9G positioning reduces his score by around 2 points, which is pretty nice. And since he just scored 8 points with Aeon, he definitely has 1 point tiles left over. So him too is probably, he's also probably somewhat close to a bingo a lot of the time. So making it a bit harder for 7-letter words to play. And just also making it harder for him to be bailed out with overlaps seem pretty good, but I could be convinced that the other placement is still better. But yeah, I went with this one. Craig responded with Judy for 31. And my next rack was this. And I played just... Okay, something's wrong here. Did I mess it up? I probably messed it up. Is there somewhere else that Judy plays for 31? No, okay, so maybe he didn't play Aeon here. I was thinking about this before the game. I was like, okay, so where did he play Aeon? Maybe this was the position, and then he played Judy. Just the same. No. What happened? Where did he play Judy? And why did I play Wind for 23? All right, we got to figure this out live. I just don't really get it. Maybe it was right? Judy. Oh, maybe I actually did end up playing it here, and then he played Judy here. Aha! We got it. Figured it out. So, I thought I played the placement of Hun that simmed better, but I actually did give back some overlaps that I shouldn't have given back. And yeah, okay. This is the position. We're back in business. And here I played Wind for 23. There you go. So let's think about this. So I think the reason that I chose the positioning of Hun that I didn't think I chose is that for that reason that I thought Craig didn't really have scoring tiles to take advantage of the better overlaps. But he had just played 4 tiles. So often when you play 4 tiles, making too hard of an inference it's not very good, and can lead to situations like this. So probably he did keep 1 point tiles, and he was way less likely to have scoring tiles than he normally would be, but he's just played 4, so if he does draw scoring tiles, he can just take advantage. So yeah, maybe I might have erred with my placement of Hun, but I think he had to have drawn like exactly these 4 tiles to have made this play, unless he was trying to set his J up, which would have been pretty cool. So here I have Whiny. I didn't want to play Whiny because it takes the T-hook that I don't have for Twiny. And my IDES sleeve isn't so great on this board. I will have underlapping bingos, I guess, on the 9 column after Whiny. And I do draw a T a decent amount of the time, and I do have this A still to play with. But I decided that I would go a bit more defensive here and play Wind. This play is not doing so well in a sim, though, because the leave of EIS is a lot worse than the leave of DEIS. On my next turn, I am being told by the computer that my bingo chances are almost half what they would be with Whiny. For 3 more points, a little bit more defense, probably not worth it. But I was comfortable with this. And yeah, I guess there's an argument that 4 points in a simulation like this is a lot, but I think I'm okay. I'm okay having made this decision. It's kind of hard to do anything great after this play, so yeah, maybe I didn't feel as behind as I should have felt in this position. But I played Wind or Wind, and Craig plays Wayne. But yeah, I think this is just feeling based. The play of Hun and the play of Wind, just feeling that Craig's leaves were full of 1 point tiles, and that giving him just that extra amount of openings for his bingos, at least on the Wind turn, was not worth it. For the Hun turn, I am giving back more bingos, but yeah, maybe that was the wrong play. I don't know. Not really sure. Feeling based play, you know, it's hard to explain sometimes. So he plays Wayne. I draw the Q and I decide to play Cheese. It's pretty much the only play here. And here Craig plays Satiate, I think naturally for 60. Okay, 65. So something wasn't natural here. It's probably the S. That's the only, that or the I was blank, but I'm pretty sure it was the S. I usually on my score sheets to designate a blank tile, I make it a lowercase tile, but the S, as you can see here in Satiate, looks a little small, but I would have put a dot on the I if the I were the blank tile, which I think is the only other placement that would score 65. But we'll see. We'll see after the after we get to the point where all the S's are used, whether this was correct or not. So Satiate comes down. Craig's up 41. He's bingoed before me despite Wind. So yeah, kind of regretting that now that I look back at what happened. Like I maybe could have bingoed first, but maybe if I played Whiny, he was going to bingo the turn before. So maybe I stopped him just long enough to gather my strength. So here I played Haim for 41. I guess I could also consider Heem and Hem in this position. But yeah, it's tying the game up. Kind of happy about that. Just to have such a strong overlap, which is this is not a very overlappable UDY here with but I just drew the right letters to do that. So I play Haim, and here Craig plays Arvo for 14. And I draw kind of an awkward rack of two I's and a G, And I have a few options here. I could play Dogi just to score some points, but it does create an S hook, and the play of Arvo sort of signals to me that Craig is likelier than average to have an S. This does create an S hook bingo lane, and it's kind of a suspicious play, sort of like 14 points. With VOR, I mean, I guess there aren't that many spots for the V on the board, so I just thought it was pretty likely that he might have an S. And of course, S's are a lot more dangerous at the end of words than at the start, because here I played GI, and I'm not really sure. Maybe I should have played Geoid. Oh, that's a really interesting option. Yeah, here I played GI because I thought that I was hitting the satiated spot a lot next turn with bingos. I could also play OI and keep the G. I was more comfortable getting rid of the G, but the G does add a little bit of balance as a third consonant rather than third vowel with GI, keeping 3 vowels. And yeah, all these plays are pretty interesting. I sort of went with my gut here. I wasn't super happy with this. To give back a cheese spot that could very well cost me a lot. But I felt like this rack was kind of not so good, and I wanted to go on the offensive. Oftentimes, I'll be able to play from the A if I want to sort of block this dangerous lane and the Arvo's lane, and I don't draw into a bingo. So I thought this was okay. Definitely thoughts are worth. Thoughts are welcome, is what I'm trying to say. So let me know in the YouTube comments. Really appreciate, for example, my last video, Matt Zalesnik commenting on the opening position, forcing me to think about and look at some numbers to try to justify a certain opening theory. So GI comes down, and without hesitation, Craig plays Whiz for 40. So once again, after sort of a fishy looking play, Craig just drops a bomb with high scoring letters. So yeah, maybe I should have stopped. I should have stopped trying to make inferences at this point. But I drew into a big of diorite, which did not fit prior to the play of Whiz, which now has a spot. So that was very fortunate. So diorite comes down. Now I'm the one up 40, but very quickly, XU comes right back down, putting Craig in the lead. And the scoring doesn't stop. I draw into this rack, and I play Aguk, which is not a slur because it has a second meaning other than the offensive one. But this seemed like the only play to make. I didn't really want to play Gyoza to open this lane, but I guess I can take a look. Look is on the board. I can take a look at the position and see what the numbers say with Gook versus Gyoza. Gyoza 6 fewer points, but the KIL might prove a very powerful. I could just redraw a play like Look through the O. I guess I'm not really drawing into scoring plays through the G, but I am blocking this scoring spot, which could prove useful to Craig if he has, for example, too many vowels, something like Uri. Doesn't seem very likely. And blocking the Z, which is actually somewhat of a scoring spot itself. But I think, yeah, taking the points and just, I have a lazy next turn if I want it, if it doesn't go away. And yeah, certain plays from the V. So I was pretty comfortable with this. And here, Craig plays Prang for 11. So I was very happy to see that ing spot go away, because even though there weren't that many N's unseen or like I's at all, still somewhat possible that by the end of the game, this spot has not been used up and there could be some bingo potential there. So just a small thing not to worry about for the rest of the game, now that I had a slight lead. And yeah, I draw all vowels, which was one of the issues with Gook instead of Gyoza, is that it was keeping a more vowel heavy leave. The Y is not a vowel, but sometimes doubles as one. So here I could play lazy or I could play oyez. And I decided to play lazy. And the reasoning was that it just gives a lot less back, I think. But yeah, here I should just take points, I'm pretty sure. I don't think I should play something like Yoni. It's tempting to just keep a consonant, but I mean 18 points. Like how can you say no to that in this position? But Oyez doesn't create a lane on the O column, so maybe I should have done that. Did I even see that? I think I saw it. Lazy creates a G hook, but there's only one G left. I'm not too concerned. And I thought that I was getting some vowel dumps on the O column after lazy that made up for the worst leave. But seems like this was a mistake and I should play Oyez. Yeah, okay. Yeah, I can see it. I can see why this play is better. Just keeps the vowel a lot more workable to keep Ilia than to keep E-I-I-O. And the spot I'm giving back isn't actually that bad. Only increasing Craig's score by around 2 points, according to Quackle, on average. And I'm not creating this potential huge spot on the O column that could really cause me trouble if it is utilized. So, yeah, this is a mistake. Should play N1 Oyez. Strategy medium. Yeah, and here Craig plays Froze for 24, which again signals to me as another S. And though I was not happy to learn via inference that he had another S, I was happy to see the Arvo spot go away. But this QI spot is problematic. And luckily I drew 3 consonants here and was able to play oboli, but the spot is still there. I'm just worried about it every single turn. But luckily Craig does not draw into anything that he finds there and plays Osar for 36, a nice score, but not a bingo score. And here's where the game gets a little bit weird. My plays start getting a bit less easy to find, more difficult to find now that this board is like very, very condensed. There's pretty much no bingo lanes anymore. This could be possible, like EES, but that's like about it. And then there's this spraying hook, which I was aware of. So when Craig played praying, I should have mentioned, but I forgot until this point. But during the game, I was very well aware that spraying was a word, that he might draw into a bingo there, which made me less prone to try and block this spot because it's a similar lane where you basically have to start with an S. Of course, it's a lot more dangerous on a triple word than on a double word, but yeah. In this position, I had a lot of options. I thought about Fooey and Poof, but I ended up deciding to play Fit for 22 here. Because my lead wasn't so large and I wanted to get rid of this huge potential spot now that the score is somewhat close, because just one play like Vega here could score 50 points. Now that was pretty much a big threat now that the bingo lanes were not as prominent on this board. So I do that, and Craig plays Dot with Satiated, creating this tantalizing spot that I would like to play on, but also don't want to open anything on the 15th row. So here I played Coven through the E of Satiated. This doesn't even appear in the plays, but my reasoning here was make it a little harder to have 5-letter words on the O column, keep the A, the P, and the U, which do not duplicate. Get rid of the C and the V, which are very problematic on closed boards to score with, and just hope to bide my time and not get bingoed on. So I play Coven, go up by 38, and here is where Craig plays BE for 13. Doesn't even go all the way, which I was happy to see because this was a dangerous scoring spot. But now there's 2 in the bag. I'm starting to get low on time, and it's kind of scary. So if I put in Craig's potential letters, all of them at once, you will see that there are a lot of bingos on C1 and a few, or maybe just one, bingo at 14E. Yeah, and then just a bunch of double doubles here. So yeah, lots of threats, but they're all mostly here. So let's bring back my rack. And so I obviously want to block this spraying spot if I can. And let's get rid of all this and generate choices. I probably could have done that. So yeah, Culpe would be great in a normal situation, but that will just give back a lot of bingos through the U and the C while blocking the C column bingos. But yeah, here I decided to play Puce for 19. The reason being, let's run championship player and save the game, save our progress. Yeah, the reason being I want to block as many bingos as possible and leave myself with potential outplays. So I'm drawing 2 tiles. If I draw at least an outplay that I can threaten, it makes it a lot more difficult for Craig to find a winning sequence in the end game. If I don't draw an outplay, I am very much at risk of getting outrun. I am up 25 points. Poos is 19, so I'll be up 44. But if I don't have an outplay, I have ALE, and he plays like B gem for 30 and keeps like an S and a blank. It's very possible that I won't have enough to outscore, but I thought with ALE I was giving myself the highest chance possible of being able to outrun everything that isn't merges, which I did actually see from afar as a possible bingo on the 14 row. I really wasn't happy that I knew that I wasn't winning 100% of the end games here, but sometimes that's the way the game goes. I definitely made some questionable decisions this game, especially lazy. That looks, from in hindsight, it looks totally wrong. My play of Wind, my play of Hun, my first 2 plays were very questionable as well. So yeah, GI also could be convinced something else is better, and this is taking too long. So I won't really figure out what Quackle thinks the best play is, but I was happy with this. Excuse me. So PUC comes down, and I see that Merges is not on Craig's rack. Okay, so it likes Papule. Yeah, I was thinking about Papule sort of plays as well, which make it a bit more likely that I will be going out next turn. And what's the reason I didn't play those? Oh, because of the C. I thought the C might actually really screw me up in the end game, but Papule might actually be better. Anyways, I remember considering it for some time. So did I see some? Wait, did I see something here that played Gomerel? No. Low emotes. Some things almost play. Lemures mute. I thought there might be some. Okay, let's put in Papule actually. EGL MRST blank. Does that give anything back as an overlap? No. Okay. I was worried it might, but yeah, Papule might be the play, to be honest. Because playing 5 tiles, leaving myself with 2 really increases the chances that I'll be able to go out next turn. Okay, so Meltes blank um, was the. I was also worried about some giving like step dame sort of plays. Actually, let's look at that again as well. ALE, EGLMRC blank. I keep cutting myself off. Yeah, okay. I correctly assessed that there was no 8 through the P. Okay, so back to his rack. So Craig, oops, come on. Craig did not have a bingo. And he chose to play Berms after not really knowing what to do. I guess we can run Championship Player to see if he had anything. I was kind of worried that he might have something. So say he played, yeah, no, this doesn't work. Crackle's confused because of all the times I entered racks that didn't exist. So if I do this now, will it understand what's going on? I think so. Yeah, so melee is best play, but I just underlap and I'll be okay. Semple, that's a cool word. So he plays Berms and I just go out. I wasn't sure of Regnal. But I would have played it if I had to. I wrote it down on my score sheet. Nice. I played large for 13, 1 point mistake, and won the game 393 to 352 maybe. I don't know if Craig went over. He could have gone over. It's possible. Anyways, that's the game. Sorry for the little struggles in the beginning there. I thought I'd remembered properly what had happened. And yeah, I'll see you guys on episode 7. This was a very interesting game, very low scoring game. And you'll see what's in store on the next episode. Goodbye.